see what's going
Are you nuts?
It's been suggested.
Come on, Caleb.
Lube or lewd?
Yes, and it's the choice of a new generation.
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
And yes, we're live, and yes, we're late. Shut up, Brad. Some people had to finish up their CWT match. I am your host, JPO Jordan Purcell. As we count down something involving the world of movies, sometimes even television, but nothing else, because that's the only cool things that matter.
No music?
I haven't done a music one yet. I could.
We should do that. That'd be fun.
I'm very limited. It's gonna be all Blink-182 songs.
I mean, that's fine with me, but yeah, we'll talk later.
We'll talk about it. We're going to get a music one in. Joining me today, you see him a lot over on the wrestling channel. Happy to have him here more so on the movie channel now. It's the distinguished gentleman, as I was reminded during CWT, Michael Turner. Michael, how are you?
You asked what DG stands for. I could have been like Dragon Gate Pro Wrestling. Duh. Oh, I'm not. Whoa, that's breaking news. I'm now the top. Wow. Make me feel,
And maybe until tomorrow, I'm winning my bracket. Isn't it a good night for us?
make me feel special in the pantaloons.
You know, all spiffy all of a sudden. You're like, ooh.
Noted cinemaphile Chris Cass in the chat tonight.
Yes.
Loves movies, that man. No,
He did pretty good there on sports trivia.
Yeah, it's true.
Sports movie trivia.
Thank you for the invite. This is exciting. We're here to talk about a very formative year in my movie watching, because this was the year that I was a junior in high school and just got my first job at J&R Video in Walterboro, South Carolina. Shout out to J&R. It is long since dead, because so is every video store.
There's one in Arizona here. It's like Casa Video or something like that. Yeah.
I think it's a Domino's now. Like the last time I drove by, so times change. But
and in one of the last season episodes of Atlanta with Donald Glover, they go to like a restaurant. It's like, this is an old Blockbuster.
I mean, that's sort of good. We had no Blockbusters in my hometown. It was all mom and pop stores. And I worked at one, and that was my job on the weekend, and got to take home whatever I wanted. So watched.
I know. It's sad because it was literally a semi goal of mine, and I never got that far.
It was
maybe
really
Blockbusters were around when I worked, but no mom and pops pretty much, and then not too long into working, neither were Blockbusters.
It was cool until people yelled at you for closing like 2 minutes beforehand, and they couldn't get their movies back in time, and we charged them $5, and they were not happy.
Ooh, I mean, I'd be pretty mad too. I don't want to pay for Alien versus Predator again.
Shit happens. Oh, dude, shit happens.
That's actually a true story. Blockbuster claimed I never brought it back, and I was like, "Listen, you can charge me $40 for a good movie, not for this piece of shit."
I think I still have a copy of Wes Craven's Cursed somewhere in my car from Netflix way back in the day.
Ooh. Well, we're not talking about Cursed. We are talking about films from 1996. Our favorite flicks from 1996. And hey, Cass is also childhood video stores. Is a Domino's.
It's awesome.
Well, Michael, you are the guest of honor. Kick us off here. What is your honorable mentions and your number 10 for the year of 1996?
Honorable mentions, My Fellow Americans, sort of in the Odd Couple, Mathau and Lemon, and again, I will specify that these are not great movies I picked by any happenstance.
I didn't think for a second what you were even saying just now.
A couple are good, but just movies that meant a lot to me. I just found it very funny at the time. I probably have watched it twice, maybe, but just left me with good memories of just like hanging out with friends. Speaking of not good movies, number 14 is Tales from the Crypt presents Bordello of Blood. Yeah, get with that, Jordan. Get with that.
Yeah, off air, I literally used that movie as a joke as to one of your favorites. And you're like, it actually is.
I will get into it later as we get into our countdown, but I have a very a weird association with horror movies growing up, and so the Crypt Keeper was like sort of like an in into horror for me. Yeah, like I found it super creepy when I was younger, but then like I got into a teenager and I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. And we were talking about I love Demon Knight even more from 1995.
I do find that one more
because
fun.
Billy Zane just goes balls to the wall,
He
insane
zanes it up, baby.
in
Yeah.
that movie, and it's fantastic. But Dennis Miller, not so bad, and Erica
He-
Leniak, you can do better than looking at her for an hour and a half.
The better Dennis Miller movie, Joe Dirt.
We're ending this stream right now.
Good night.
Speaking of endings, number 13, Beavis and Butthead Do America. You know, as my friends and I were not the most well-to-do gentlemen of the time. When you're in high school, you know, these immature things amuse you. And I remember specifically driving to Charleston, South Carolina. We had a theater in my hometown, but it only got movies like 2 months after they premiered. So you had to go to Charleston if you want to watch anything new. And I remember going there on a weekend, just having a good time, and seeing a poster for another movie that came out that we'll get into a little bit later. Number 12, I have The Ghost in the Darkness with Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer about hunting some animals down in the South African regions. You know, a good little movie, not anything too shabby. And number 11, I have Black Sheep, obviously the lesser of the Spade Farley movies, but still pretty funny. So I will start the things the right way at number 10 with a movie very appropriate for this time of year. Jingle All the Way. You know, who doesn't love Arnold in a mad dash trying to beat Sinbad's ass? You know, every now and then people get flustered at work, and I'll just say, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Donner, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. Now give me the doll. And they seem to, you know, get out of my way pretty much. What do you suggest for number 10, sir?
Yes, that's a fun one here. Yeah, that one's definitely a repeat back in the day. So my honorable mentions real quick. We got Tim Burton's Mars Attacks is right outside of the list. Fun to collect the cast there. Twister is on my honorable mentions list. Executive Decision. That's a good one with Kurt Russell. Matilda. Right outside of my list. And Michael, John Travolta, he's an angel or something like that. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember really liking it. Coming in at my number 10 here, Marky Mark for one of his first big roles here, along with Reese Witherspoon in Fear. He's the ultimate bad boyfriend here, who of course is at first very charming, and then they find out he's a little bit more sinister underneath here. And of course it ramps up. William Peterson, who you probably have seen more so from CSI, is the daddy in this, and he's pretty good too. I don't know why he doesn't do more things, but yeah, a good little thriller, if you will. Fear at number 10 for me.
Big crush on Reese Witherspoon back in the day. That movie played a big role in that, and I always wondered what the deal was with roller coasters from that movie. If you know what I mean.
Hey now.
We'll get into my number 9 is one of the seminal Michael Bay action movies of the time, and The Rock. Didn't quite like it as much as some of the other action movies that come out that year that we'll get into, but you know, Sean Connery's having a good time. Nicolas Cage is chewing scenery as only Nicolas Cage can, including the great pun of, you know, when he fires off the rocket and it's you're the Rocket Man. So lot of good times here. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. We're just watching this. We're just cancel the show.
Oh, we're gonna take it down if we watch too much of it.
Right. Look at Sean's hair. It's glorious. But yeah, this is not a great movie, but just super fun. You want to watch people blow some stuff up and chew up some scenery. This is a good time.
Very, very good here. Very good here. Maybe we'll talk about it again later. My number 9 here is one of the few directing outings from one of the greatest actors of all time, in my opinion, and that is That Thing You Do, directed by one of the leading stars in it, Tom Hanks. Just a fun little musical romp you got going on here. Nice younger cast going on. Tom Everett Scott. He's not in it almost much at all, but it's also one of the few trivia questions that Colin Hanks is in this as well, real brief. But just a fun movie here. Good times to be had, and it's a very enjoyable watch. Number 9, That Thing You Do. What is that thing you do at number 8?
It's so funny that you say that, actually, because the reason we're best friends, Jordan, is my number 8 is That Thing You Do. How can you not love the journey of the band, the One Naders, because they can't spell correctly?
Yeah.
But Tom Everett Scott banging the drums, Steve Zahn, it's just, Jonathan Sheck, I think, as the lead singer, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And Ethan Embry on bass. Just a good little movie. Good times to be had. Like I said, that song will stick with you for days on end. So go watch it. Go check it out. Oh,
yes. Remember the days Ethan Embry was in everything.
Oh, I do remember the days Ethan Embry was in. Those were good days. Ethan Embry needs a comeback.
He's still around, man. He still pops up. All right, coming in at my number 8. Well, Michael, I never told you this, but you had me at hello. Jerry Maguire. What can you say? It's another reason why I think Tom Cruise is a movie star here. He's very charming here. It's a little long, but I mean, you're kind of with the tale as it goes along, and you even buy into the slowly growing relationship between him and Renee Zellweger here. Good supporting cast as well. With the breakouts of Jay Moore, Jerry O'Connell, of course, Corey Cuba Jr., who won the Oscar, and then did other movies. But yeah, it's a good one. Show me the money and show me your number 7.
Before I do, fun fact about me, as a 43-year-old, my mind is not what it used to be, and I completely forgot that Jerry Maguire came out in 1996, because that would be my number 2 movie. I love Jerry Maguire. I love Jerry Maguire. Rod Tidwell, man. How can you not? Show me the Quan. It's so good. But yeah, we'll go with the list I actually made, because I'm done. My number 7 is one of your honorable mentions, the aforementioned Twister. I work in the TV news business, and you would not believe how many meteorologists I have met and become friends with, and they swear up and down that the only reason they got into it was the movie Twister. It's just a good little popcorn flick, summer movie. I believe this came out in May of 96. This was one of the beginning of the summer movie season. And I don't, Helen Hunt won an Oscar for As Good as It Gets, but I don't think she was as good as Twister. This is when Helen's flexing the muscles, flexing the, the ripped shirt, chasing down the cows. But just a super fun movie. Go check it out, get some popcorn, and throw it around your living room.
Are you ready for Twisters?
My head is not ready for that, but you know what? We'll watch it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not striking all the irons hot because we have lost 2/3 of the main cast here, but yeah, we'll see. My number 7 here, you mentioned one I mentioned before. Here's one you mentioned not too long ago. Yeah, The Rock, man. Michael Bay. Cage, Connery, absolutely having a lot of fun here. This is back when, I don't know, maybe Michael Bay was just better with characters and whatnot, because I'm not a big fan of some of his more recent work to a degree. Although even Ambulance, I think, is maybe a better form to his past here, because that was enjoyable enough here. But yeah, this one was great. It's a lot of fun. It's right up there with maybe Cage in the 90s. I'm about to mention all Cage movies with Con Air, with Face Off.
Right.
It's a great triple feature if you want to ever have just a manly Saturday. Just as manly as I get. And The Rock, a lot of fun here. What do you got? It's number 6.
Number 6, I present to you the Gross Out Kings, the Farley brothers, still at the height of their fame and power with Kingpin. How can you not love Big Ern McCracken? Bill Murray just takes his 15 minutes of screen time and just waxes it as best he can. Not a huge Randy Quaid fan, but he, makes the most of a kind of milk.
I love him in real life now. He's interesting.
Oh my god! But Woody Harrelson just at peak Woody, losing his mind. Look at that. Look at the haircut. And special shout out to a 16-year-old boy, Vanessa Angel. God bless you.
Team out, Michael. Team out. Coming in at my number 6 here, Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, The Birdcage here. To a degree, might not hold up as well nowadays, but I mean, if you just go in with the right mind frame, still very funny here. I absolutely love the pairing of those two. Even Hank Azaria gets some really good laughs here, and so yeah, it's an interesting kind of time capsule, premise to a degree, but again, Robin Williams just oozes laughter and charisma throughout it, and even Nathan Lane, very underrated. Anytime he pops up. So Birdcage came in at my number 6 as we're now halfway there. Living on a Prayer.
Birdcage is one I need to watch again because it's one like I said, I saw one time and I remember liking a few lines here and there, but I don't remember a lot about it. So I'll go back and watch that sometime. My number 5 is a movie I actually feel to be a good movie, unlike most of the ones I picked. Primal Fear. This is the first time that we ever saw, or at least I ever saw, Edward Norton working.
I believe straight up this is like the first Edward Norton movie.
Working his screen magic. And for those who haven't seen the movie, I will not spoil, but there is a super, super interesting twist. I feel like it was my first like Fight Club moment where you're like, oh, Soylent Green is people. Oh my God, spoiler.
You gotta say it like Hassan.
Fun story about Fight Club. I remember I was watching the movie, halfway watching it with a girl on the phone, and I remember like hanging up on her at the problem. I was like, I have to call you back. I'm not sure I just saw that right.
I did that during the Prestige one time. Me and a girl were like doing stuff, and I had to be like, hold on, I'm getting confused by this plot. Stop it, stop touching me.
Nice. But yeah, this is a very fun movie, some good performances, and like I said, stay tuned for the plot. Oh, Maura Tierney, I forgot she was in there.
Memories.
Laura Linney. I need to watch this again. But yeah, good times. Go watch this. Go in sight unseen. You'll enjoy it.
I'm glad you didn't spoil it because I've never seen it, and I don't know why.
Go watch it.
I even bought it at like a closing Blockbuster, like just the disc for like a quarter, and so I've been meaning to because I know I've heard good things. I know people have championed this before the Edward Norton debut. So, yes, this is something I'll have to jump shoot it on my get to it list. My number 5, and it shows you there's at least for me some movies that I really like, because some people would say blasphemy at being at number 5, but the Coen brothers Fargo here, of course, had a more recent TV extension, which is also really good, by the way. We recently on Malcolm Lay's channel voted as one of the best TV shows based on a movie. But anywho, the movie itself here, Frances McDormand, John Carroll Lynch, so many others here. Interesting tale here. It pulls punches, kind of like their later films, No Country for Old Men. You're not sure who's going to be safe and walk out of this thing, all together here. It's another, it's probably their third or fourth big showing of what the Coen brothers can bring to the table. So my number 5, Fargo.
Fargo, again, something that I think I've seen bits and pieces of. I don't think I've ever seen the whole movie. I need to get on that. Number 4 is not Fargo. It's not even a very good movie, but it is a super fun action flick. And the first time John Travolta really goes nuts, I present to you Broken Arrow. Just hamming up the scenery once again. Howie Long as one of the henchmen, having a good old time. NFL lineman Howie Long.
Okay.
But yeah, just my favorite line in this movie is a Frank Whaley line. He says, I don't know what's worse, the fact that we lost a nuclear missile or the fact that it happens so much there's a term for it. And that's what the broken arrow is when you lose a nuclear missile. Big crush on Samantha Mathis in this. Never to be heard from again after this movie. That's not true. Samantha did some things, but did some stuff, but not.
Name sounds familiar.
Not a super lot, but yeah. Again, take an hour and a half. Go get some popcorn. Go get some candy. Watch a dumb action flick that will really, really you'll enjoy it. It's John Woo before he really went John Woo.
John Woo, Ric Flair's favorite director.
That's correct. What is your number 4, sir?
But no, that's a fun one here. That's one of those ones I've also only seen like once, like on TV, like one day, just like on WB one day growing up, going, "What's Broken Arrow? I like Travolta," and yeah, it's a fun one. My number 4 here. Speaking of fun, speaking of Nicolas Cage ruling action in the '90s, there's a man that ruled comedies in the '90s to me, Adam Sandler and Happy Gilmore. I recently tried debating that like this should be the movie that we get a sequel to, not Murder
Wow.
Mystery
That's
or
right.
Grown Ups.
That's
Because like you can do a fun little sports follow up, you know, maybe he's got a kid or he's coaching, whatever. You do a multitude of things. Anywho, but just I love this character here. I love the fantasy sequences. I love all the comebacks. Yeah, I'm literally laughing just thinking about this movie right now. Like I just enjoy Go to Your Home. The Bob Barker fight. I've got those Funko Pops in the next room here. I want the whole thing. Price is Wrong, bitch. So yeah, my number 4 is Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler. A lot of debate. This or Billy Madison. I always have a hard time picking. What do you got for number 3?
Did I mention the fact that we're best friends? Because my number 3 is Happy Gilmore.
Yes, yes. I have it here. There.
I believe that's Mr. Gilmore's ball shooter. Like it's just so freaking quotable, man. I mean, when you get Ben Stiller trying to steal the movie for 20 minutes as an orderly, like
you can have a nice cold glass of milk. You can have a nice cold glass of shut the hell up.
It's so good. It's one of those movies you don't think about it. You just put it on. You know, if you're flipping your channels, like, oh, yep, there's an hour of my time that I'm just gonna sit and watch. You know, like to me, we can have a different conversation about this a different day. 'Cause like Sandler lost his powers to me after 99, and it just I mean he's still funny, but it's just not great. But after The Wedding Singer and after Waterboy and after Big Daddy, it just all went downhill. But this is
I remember seeing Little Nicky in the theaters going, something's gone wrong.
yeah, something has happened. Maybe that's when he got married. I don't know. But this is
It's
peak.
Jackie's fault. That's
This is peak Sandler, and maybe the first appearance of Julie Bowen in pop culture. Modern Family's Julie
I
Bowen
know.
playing the love interest. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is a great movie. This is a no-brainer, literally. So go watch it.
You don't have to watch the whole thing, but the first 5 minutes of Hebe Halloween, you get more Ben Stiller as Hal Gilroy.
I did think I see that. I thought I saw that.
It's the best part. I just remember squealing, yeah, it's Hal.
Number Tracy.
All right, we got the man that just doesn't know anything but blowing up the world, Roland Emmerich's Independence Day. But this might be his best blowing up of the world here. Of course, the first big, you've had Bad Boys. This was the first big blockbuster Will Smith outing here. And for me, it is the first because I was too young. I didn't see Bad Boys at first. Mom and Daddy wouldn't let me. But Independence Day was a big rewatch, on VHS back in the day here. So yeah, just a really, really fun one. Because unlike some of his later films, this has the characters in it between this and again another Randy Quaid pop up, another Jeff Goldblum performance here. So this has some charismatic characters. Brent Spiner, who I will be talking about again later. Good year for Brent Spiner, evidently. If you don't know who that is, I'll explain later. But yeah, Independence Day coming in at number 3.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a movie I liked. Not enough to put on my list, but yeah, it's fun. Shout out to Vivica A. Fox.
I was gonna say Chris Cass here saying at first Jingle All the Way was the only movie he's seen, but he would have had Happy Gilmore number 1, so he's seen 2 of them now.
There you go. Good buddy. My number 2, and I'm about to hit you with the hot take here. You ready? I'm not sure you're ready for this. The best Christmas action movie is not Die Hard. It's The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. It's totally Die Hard. But The Long Kiss Goodnight is a fantastic movie. This is Rennie Harlin's attempt to make second attempt to make wife Gina Davis happen into the ethos as an action star after the maligned Cutthroat Island. Yeah, don't watch that one. Go watch The Long Kiss Goodnight. This is Samuel L. Jackson cursing up a storm as only he can do. This is awesome action set pieces. It's humorous. It's just a really good time that doesn't get enough love in terms of 90s action movies. As you can see, I mean, she just got newsy. I don't know what more you want from me. Oh, and now she's a blonde. A blonde named Charlie.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any better. Oh, she's
That's
blonde.
right. No, this is fantastic performance. She's shooting liquor. You should be shooting liquor. You should be watching this movie. But Jordan, tell me what's your number 2. I think I might already know.
I don't know. Do you? Although I will say, briefly on that last one here, I got to see that one. That's also in a blind spot for me, so I will bump that up as well as something.
You'll have a good time.
Yeah. Well, my number 2, I mentioned Brett Spiner earlier. Let's talk about Brett Spiner again. A good old Star Trek First Contact. I legitimately was more of a Star Trek kid growing up because you had of course the original Star Wars movies were fantastic, but not directly my childhood. While Star Trek was on TV, killing it with Next Generation rather, and then even this movie here. I love this movie here. I think it's great with the Borgs here. Again, you've got some humor. You got James Cromwell was really great in this as well. Between this and Pig from the year earlier, I was a big James Cromwell fan growing up. And again, you got the whole cast here that you kind of know from Next Generation. Yeah, and I just thought it was a great interesting tale. I had all the figures. Do I still have it? Did I sell those? I don't know. I moved last year. It hurts my heart. Anywho, but I still have a lot of love for First Contact. Insurrection, I hate you. But First Contact, I love you. What about you as we come now to the plethora, the number 1 movie of the year, 1996 for Michael Turner.
Before we get to number 9, before we get to number 1, I'm just going to go back and say I've only attempted to watch one Star Wars movie. It was Generations. I went into a theater. I fell asleep. I hate Star Trek. I'm sorry. It's not
watch Next Generation.
It's not for me.
Watch the new ones. You haven't seen the new ones?
No, I have not.
What?
I'm a Star Wars guy. It's fine. But here we go. Number 1.
Jean-Luc Picard.
But I will redeem myself here and be your best friend again because I think we all know what this is. As I said earlier, horror movies and I have a big association. Growing up, I was petrified. We would go into a video store, and literally my video store, you had to walk through the horror section to get to the new releases, and I would cover my eyes. I made my best friend take a Freddy Krueger poster off his wall before I would sleep in his room for a sleepover. Horror and I did not get along until we met a little movie called Scream. And I think if you're a horror movie fan, if you're even horror adjacent, you know all about this. There's nothing more to be said. It changed the game as we know it. Wes Craven, at the peak of his powers, taking some hot 90s teens and making them die. I think we're beyond spoiler land here to tell you this was one of the first movies to really play with your expectations by putting Drew Barrymore as the lead on the poster and then killing her off 5 minutes into the movie. You're like, what is happening? I mean, Matthew Lillard, God bless him, just the best. Go for broke scenery. Say, my mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me. It's beautiful. The reveal of the killers is beautiful. That's right, I said killers because again we're past spoiler territory. This ushered in what I call the Scooby-Doo slasher era, when the whole point of the horror movies became to figure out who the killer was. But one of the best horror movies there's ever been, in my opinion, and easily my favorite movie of 1996. And I'm reasonably sure that you're about to tell me the same thing.
All right, my favorite movie, Space Jam. There's a reason I... Hold on, let me change the graphic at the bottom here.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. And my number one movie is Scream. Yes, yeah, this is my horror franchise. It's one of the first ones I was able to see. Luckily, there are no boobies in it, so mom and dad, some were cool with it.
Well,
Murder's
nipply.
good, murder's good, but no boobies. And that's actually remained too. All 5 movies on no nips yet. A little nipply, as you said, but
Well, nipply, but not
you get
full.
away with that. But no, yeah, I love this one as you mentioned here. It's got one of the best finales here between Lillard and Ulrich as the reveal here. Reason I'm still a big Jamie Kennedy fan is because I love him in this here. Is of course kind of the conduit to us, the movie fan who knows that you shouldn't say I'll be right back because you won't be. And our first outings of course David Arquette and Courtney Cox, and yeah, it's funny, it's self-referential. Maybe go back and see New Nightmare, the Freddy Krueger movie, which kind of helped bring along this kind of new referential take here. And yeah, it was lightning in a bottle here. I was literally pumped it last night, I believe it was, when the Scream 6 trailer dropped. I'm still in it because I teaser, yes, this is teaser, quick, nice little Subway teaser here, but. In my opinion, I even 3 or 4. I don't think there's been a bad one yet. This is, I think, definitely the best one of them. Yeah, I'm a big Scream guy, Ghostface fan here. So yes, I do agree. My number one still sticks out to me is Scream, and yes, 2 movies of the list have a former WCW champion. What was the other one?
Oh God, what was the other one? Chris will have to clarify that.
Chris, if you're there, clarify what you mean by that. I'm sure
Yeah.
we're forgetting. Was
Yeah.
there another David Arquette movie? I don't know. The Rock is not The Rock though, so that doesn't count. That's a movie with Nicolas Cage, in case that's what you're saying.
Duh.
But yes, we are in agreement on number one being Scream. Let me hear that top 10 one more time, with the caveat of Jerry Maguire probably should have been there.
Yeah, that's again. I feel horrible about that because Jerry Maguire would easily be my number 2. But yeah, no, I had Jingle All the Way at 10. I have The Rock at 9. I have That Thing You Do at 8. Twister at 7. Kingpin at 6. Primal Fear at 5. Broken Arrow at 4. Happy Gilmore, Love It at 3. The Long Kiss Goodnight at 2. Please go watch it. I promise you will have a good time. And yes, Scream at number 1.
And I see what Chris was getting at. We forgot the giant Big Show is in Jingle All the Way. Giant ass Santa.
Sorry,
Yes,
Paul.
yes.
We forgot.
So, yeah, I can see why, but yeah,
He's
forgot,
forgettable.
yeah,
He's forgettable.
absolutely.
You only said
Yeah, that's it. I know my niece misses the Big Show. Bring it back, Netflix. My list here: number 10, Fear; 9, That Thing You Do; 8, Jerry Maguire; 7, The Rock; 6, The Birdcage; 5, Fargo; 4, Happy Gilmore; 3, Independence Day, with number 2 being Star Trek: First Contact, and number 1, we're in agreement. Had a couple agreements. Number 1, Scream, one of the best horror movies of all time, in my opinion, coming in at number 1. Michael, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me again. If you're always down, if you have another actor, year, genre, even in a weird one, or music, maybe we'll talk off air.
Yeah.
Any plugs or parting words?
No, just we are in the festivities of the Christmas season, so everyone please be kind to each other, do what you can, go out and donate some stuff to a senior, maybe Toys for Tots. Like, please just try and help make this world a better place. Go adopt an animal, maybe, if that's your thing. We're just out here trying to bring some light and merriness to what can be sometimes a dark world. Oh, hydrate! I got you. Yep, we're gonna do that. It's vodka. I hope that's okay. Yeah, because it's a late night for your boy. But no, this was a blast. I would love to do like a television if you have a theme. I think that would be cool. Top How I Met Your Mother episodes.
I'd have to go back and watch the rest, but sure.
Yeah.
I can sure piece together one.
But yeah,
Not the finale. Not the
No,
finale.
sir. I love you, Kristen Milioti, but they jobbed the hell out of you. That was wrong.
They
But
did.
you came back in Palm Springs, so good for you.
Psych, it was the aunt the entire time, even though we said from episode 1 that it wasn't. Fuck you.
It was
damn it.
so bad.
Still
Yeah,
angers me.
we're
Still
gonna-
angers me.
top 10 worst finales of all time. Let's work
Oh,
on
we
that.
could. We could.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Like I said, music. Give me another year for movies. I'm always happy to join my brother, one of my best friends on the onlines. Yeah,
Not in
so
real life.
we haven't met in real life, but you know, that's
I'm
cool.
outside your house right now.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Speaking of nightmares, yeah, dude. We'll talk about Freddy Krueger later. I got a whole thing. It's a complex, but yeah, let's do this again sometime real soon. Chris Cass will join us. He'll be happy to talk about movies.
Yes, figure out your top 10, man.
He loves them. But yeah, right now I'm gonna go to sleep because it's almost midnight on the East Coast.
Yes, absolutely. I love 100% what he said. Yeah, be kind to one another. You know, do something for someone if you can. Take care of yourselves as well. You know what I mean? If you happen to be alone, you're not alone spiritually. You know what I mean? Just know that there is love out there for you. So yes, like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an enemy. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.